Shalom, y'all. Serving on D. Vermont. Another day at the office, another day at the factory, another day at the plant. I want to briefly talk about the adulator. You know, the puppet, the yes man. You know, we, the people of the Most High, we got a covenant with the Most High, a contract with the Most High. We're mandated to serve only Him, as it says in Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, the 47th verse. And he said, now, if you don't serve me, I will cause you to serve your enemies. And that's what we are witnessing. You know, last night when I came home from work, my wife was watching the red carpet of the Oscars and the pre-show. And then I sat down with her after I ate, and we proceeded on to watch the Oscars. Within about an hour and a half, then I went upstairs, told her, I'm tired, I'm gonna go lay down. I went, took a shower, lay down. She later joined me, and we sat there and watched until I fell asleep. Now, we all know that Will Smith, he was offended at something that Chris Rock said about his wife Jada, about G.I. Jane or whatever. And Will Smith walked on stage and supposedly slapped Chris Rock. Many people talking about, was it staged or was it for real? It was staged. We all can see that was staged. Why I say it was staged? Because they always lead us. Remember, Deuteronomy 28:45. The Father said, if you don't serve me, I will cause you to serve your enemy. And the enemy that we all have served, they require us a song, they require us to be a buffoon, they require us to be gestures, and they require of us to entertain them at any cost. The Academy, as well as the Grammys, as well as all these other mediums that we have in this kingdom, these mediums are nothing but an oversized or progressive form of the big house. In the big house, you had the slaves that entertained all of the masters and all of the master's comrades and all of his associates and his colleagues. And he would play the fiddle, he would do acting, he was entertaining them. And there's no difference today. You look at the Academy, you look at the music industry. As a matter of fact, the music industry have infiltrated, circumvented, and took over the rap music that was produced by Hebrew Israelites. Now, you have typhoons and you have moguls that have taken on the rap music industry, have made billions. And what do we see with the Hebrew Israelite that's in the music industry? They shooting one another, they killing one another. It's nothing but a form of, remember Django Unchained, where Leonardo DiCaprio had a plantation when Jamie Foxx, and I forget the other man, when they visited his plantation, they went up into a room and they were in the midst of two Hebrews fighting one another, and how one Hebrew broke the other Hebrew's arm at the behest and at the pleasure and at the entertainment of the slave master. Hell has enlarged itself, as it says in Isaiah, the 5th chapter. And it's not just talking about when you die, you go to hell, when you go to Hades. It's talking about the situation, the circumstances of hell. How when you don't serve the Father, everything outside of the Father for the Hebrew Israelites is nothing but a hell situation. And what we have witnessed, hell has enlarged itself. And what we see today is this form that was once called the big house, it's a whole industry now. And they made their bones, they made their money, they made their wealth off the backs of Hebrew Israelites. And now you have adulators that will fight one another, that will dispute one another, and that will have conflict over one another, just so that the Gentiles will be entertained. And it's time for us to go back to the Father. It's time for us to really realize that we have a mandate and that we have a responsibility. And that responsibility is to serve Him in all capacities. And He will restore the wealth. He will restore us to our rightful place. But as long as we continue to look to the Gentiles, but what they made off of us, they didn't make it on their own. They made it off of us. As long as we continue to look to them, we'll forever be served on in servitude.